number 5 simply because, look, if you're looking for someone who can take the ball over, or rather turn the ball over and intercept it, this is a guy for you. He's one of the best man coverage players in the NFL as far as being able to judge the flight of the football and win contested catch situations. When he plays from off, very good eyes, very good at cluing the quarterback, very efficient with his feet, and he finishes on the football. Here again, playing strong down the field, being able to judge the flight of the football, turn himself into a receiver at the catch point, and give the ball back to your offense, which gives you more chances to succeed in terms of scoring touchdowns. That's always at a premium. Just like pass rusher is always at a premium. And Chandler Jones, nobody has done it better than him over the course of his career, especially his career in Arizona, where now he is the franchise all-time leading sacker, north of 60 sacks. Now, this is a guy who is scheme versatile in terms of being able to play in a 4-3, play in a 3-4. He's a guy who has all the moves that you could ask for. He can rush with power. He can rush with finesse. You can stand him up, walk him over the guards. This is a guy who, I'm telling you, he goes to the right team, he's going to produce big numbers once again in 2022.
And he's in demand. Look, pass rushers always are at a premium. And Chandler Jones is an elite pass rusher. Arizona did not offer him much money, and so there are going to be teams out there that obviously want to bring in Chandler Jones. He's going to land a big deal. I promise you that'll get done.
So Arizona's going to potentially lose like 3 key free agents. Do they have anybody they're trying to pay internally that maybe is going to take up more of their cap going forward?
Well, they got the DeAndre Hopkins.
How about their quarterback? Maybe
contractual situation.
Yeah.
We got Kyler Murray out there who's complained about not having a deal, right?
Yeah. So maybe there's some method behind this madness right now, Lewis. Let's get to number 3.
Yeah, you know, this is a guy who's very interesting to me right now because Tyrann Mathieu, I mean, look, you know that Brett Veach, the general manager of the Chiefs, wants to have him resign, and of course they're going to want to pay him fair market value. I just don't know if really their numbers are just going to add up to what maybe Tyrann thinks that he should get on the open market. Right. And look, I cannot argue against him. I believe that veteran players who are north of 30 years old, players who have many more years experience than some of the younger guys in free agency, do deserve, especially at safety, to be considered maybe more so than you would typically consider a veteran player because of how smart they have to be and how much of a playmaker they need to be. This guy is one of the very best.
Yeah, and he's a guy that you'll remember has bounced around in free agency already. He's been through this drill.
Yep.
Went from Houston to Kansas City at a time where Kansas City and Baltimore both wanted him.
Remember that.
He chose Kansas City. It worked out very well for him there. Won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Now a free agent. I mean, how many times do you get a bite of the apple when you're still considered a primetime player who's going to get paid? Good job by him.
Himself, it's worked out well.
Yeah, here's another guy who I don't think many people expected to be on the market right now. But again, when you're talking about veteran players who may be getting a little bit older in terms of their career, these are the 2 positions you make exceptions for guys who maybe are north of 30 years old. Middle linebacker and free safety. Because Bobby Wagner, I can tell you this guy can still get after it. He can still stop the run. He is still very good against the pass. He can still blitz. He's a guy who commands respect of the entire football team, not just on the defensive side. So if you are looking for a veteran middle linebacker who maybe to pair with a young inside backer, if you're playing in a 3-4, to help go ahead and groom him and teach him how to be a pro, Bobby Wagner is your guy. That is your guy.
Tough guy, leader, talented, a lot of the intangibles you want. Look, cannot have been an easy decision for Seattle to move on from somebody who is an 8-time Pro Bowl linebacker who's going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame one day. Yeah. And we'll see how that works out. But Bobby Wagner's going to have some interest here.
Yeah, unique player. We'd love to see him find a home soon. He can because he was cut. How about number 1, Lewis? A guy who you have.
You got to go with Terron Armstead. Look, we know that left tackle is a premium position. You know that you cannot survive if your quarterback is on his back. And Terron is one of the very best at being able to pass protect against power, pass protect against speed. He is a guy who could play the power run game. He can play the zone blocking run game. He can do it all. So if you're looking for a franchise left tackle, again, this is your guy. It's amazing to see some of the quality of the players that are on the market right now. Obviously, every guy has some holes in his game at this point in time, or he's getting a little bit older in terms of his years. But just look at these 5 players. If you're building a football team, you can tell me you wouldn't want any one of these guys?
Well, you know what's interesting about Terron Armstead? When you talk to the people in New Orleans, they say he may have been the leader of that team.
Ooh, yeah.
Somebody that was the leader in that locker room, somebody that everybody looked to. That's how much respect he's got. And he plays left tackle. So you know it's a valuable position. You know how important that is, the talent. But the leadership is something that I think you want to bet on. Yeah, I mean, there's been some injuries, but that's a player that most people believe is the number 1 player on the board.
And you think about Trent Williams last year cashing in the way that he did. I'm sure Terron Armstead has a similar sight in terms of his next contract in mind. These 4 guys didn't quite make the list, but really talented players as well.
Very talented.
Really, really rich. No need to worry about that. Hey, coming up, it's not even the start of free agency technically, so we still have a lot of talented players on the board, which includes some wide receivers that have not yet agreed to deals. We'll tell you who might be next off the market and which teams might make some sense for these talented pass catchers.
Talk to me nice, so don't talk to me at all.